Hi, good morning and welcome to the traffic report segment on the AM Cafe, coming to you from the studios of IATV. My name is Folashade Ogurinde. This morning we're taking a traffic report situation on the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway and the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. And helping us with this report this morning is Route Commander Florence Okwe of the FRSC Ogun State Command. I believe she's on the line now. Good morning. Good morning, Route Commander Florence Okwe. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, good morning, ma'am. How are you this morning?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right. Please quickly take us through the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. What exactly is the traffic situation on that route this morning?
The traffic situation on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway this morning, inward Lagos, from Tobi-Ibadan to Onigari, the traffic is free. Onigari, Alapako, free flow. Alapako to Fidewo is also free. Interchange Kara, the traffic is free. Baru CCG is free. Mowai is free. HCG Ibafo, there is low movement of vehicle due to the narrow lane and also high volume of vehicle entering Lagos. MFM, the traffic is free. Upbeat down to Bigger, free flow, regular movement. The other section of the expressway, the vehicle went out of Lagos. Bigger upbeat, the traffic is free. Magboro MFM, free flow. Ibafo, Mowai is also free. Baru CCG Kara to interchange, the traffic is free. Fidewo, Alapako, the traffic is free. Onigari down to Tobi-Ibadan, free flow, regular movement. There is no crash and no obstruction for now.
All right. So the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is pretty free this morning. I think that's good news for commuters who would be commuting on that route this morning. But let's head now to the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway. Tell us what's happening there now.
Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway this morning, area where we are experiencing slow movement of vehicles are, we have Lagos-Abeokuta, we have Owode to Yanolubo, the slow movement of vehicles. I believe that portion has been a problem because of the bad portion of the road. Then we have another slow movement at Yanusele, Owode, there's also slow movement. We have Owode Sango also, slow movement of vehicles, bad portion of the road. But the vehicles are fast lanes to a story also, there's slow movement. Then we have Alakoko Kola, there's slow movement of vehicles. Idaye Abuleba also, there's slow movement. We have another slow movement at Papa. So this is a section where we are having a slow movement of vehicle because of the bad portion of the road. Where other sections remain free for now. There is no crash and no obstruction. FRSC advise motorists to drive cautiously, especially now that the rain is heavy. They should ensure that their wipers are in good condition. They should put vehicle routine check. Also, avoid use of phone while driving. Avoid driving under the influence of alcohol. Call FRSC toll-free number 122 to report any crash or obstruction. Thank you.
Many thanks, Route Commander Florence Okwe, for that detailed analysis of the situation report along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway. Many thanks for coming on the show this morning. All right, we head now to the newspaper review. Do not forget the instructions given by Route Commander Florence Okwe. Try as much as possible not to pick calls when you're driving and be very conscious of traffic rules. Now we head now to the newspaper review. Don't go anywhere. We'll join shortly. It's another amazing Wednesday morning right here in the city of Lagos. Good morning and welcome to the newspaper review segment, where we take review of top stories making the front pages of the national dailies. My name is Folashade Ogurinde. This morning, we're taking a review of The Guardian, The Punch newspaper, The Nigerian Tribune, The Vanguard, and some other newspapers. I'm not the only one in the studio this morning. I have with me my colleague, Faith. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you too this morning?
I'm very fine, thank you.
Trust you had a good night rest.
Yeah, I did.
Well, you're welcome to the Lagos studio. My name is Faith Agbetuya, and this morning we'll be reviewing different issues as reported on the front pages of the Nigerian dailies, and if time permits us, we'll take some business as well as some crime stories. We'll start this morning with the review of the Nigerian Tribune. On that paper, have Northern elders to Fulani herdsmen leave the south, return home, and have some riders to that story. Nigeria on the brink of disaster, Anyako has said, and Senate calls for National Security Summit. Every country has security challenges, and Buhari replies, OBJ. Other critiques. Remember, just the day before yesterday, Buhari wrote an open letter to the president, and this looks like a response to that open letter that every country has its own security challenges, and that it's not anything new. Everything you see that Nigeria is experiencing today. I have another rider here. Create a special agency to tackle banditry. Jonathan tells president. Ethnic groups may resort to self-help. That's coming from Alaafin of Oyo. And you have the stories on pages 2, 5, 8, and 10 of the Nigerian Tribune. Still on that paper, Nigeria has lost 6 trillion naira to Apapa gridlock. That's coming from the OPS, and that's the organized private sector has on Tuesday called for urgent infrastructure development at the Lagos port. It said Nigeria had lost about 6 trillion naira across the different sectors due to the Apapa gridlock. And that story continues on page 11 if you really are curious. You want to see details of that. You have another story here. 10 Turkish sailors kidnapped off Nigerian coast. That's on page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune. And you have still on the paper, Ikimi BMO tackle Obasanjo over letter to Buhari. That's on page 33 of the Nigerian Tribune. Election Tribunal, INEC, APC, Buhari tender video to counter PDP Atiku's allegation on server. That's on page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune. Well, this battle of INEC, APC, Buhari, then PDP and Atiku seems to be getting more interesting, because we had that PDP tendered a video the day before yesterday, and just yesterday INEC, APC and Buhari tendered another video to counter most of the things presented in the videos that was played by Atiku. So you have these stories reeling out, and Nigerians are actually waiting to see where all of this will end. I have another story here. Workers earning below 30,000 naira to start enjoying minimum wage on page 33 as Labour government differ on percentage of increase. That's it on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. Now let's see what the Vanguard newspaper has on its front page this morning.
All right, the Vanguard this morning is reporting with this story: State of the Nation, insecurity worsened under Buhari. Jonathan Anyako with the riders save Nigeria from the brink. Anyako tells Buhari, NAS. Declare state of emergency on security now. PDP tells Buhari. That story is on page 9. Gunmen abduct Zamfara budget director, kill deputy. That story is on page 6. And those criticizing me are unpatriotic, says Buhari. That story is on page 4 of the Vanguard newspaper. Above the masthead, the story says Northern Elders Forum, CNG's other headsmen out of South. That story is on page 10 of the same newspaper. Moving on to the presidential poll story, Buhari's lawyer plays video clip of INEC chair in court. That story is on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. Cooking gas, petrol prices record marginal increase in June. That story is on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. Two more odd stories here. 2 fared killed, 6 injured, 4 houses razed, 3 vehicles burnt in Ondo communal clash. That story is on page 13 of the Vanguard newspaper. Killings, Senate condemns Fashoranti's daughter's murder, planned security summit. Reps ask federal government to install CCTV on streets. That story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Will unravel how Ndubisi Chukwu died, says South African envoy. That story is on page 9. And finally, on the front page of the Vanguard, owner, 2 wives, 9 others die in just building collapse. That story is on page 6 of the Vanguard newspaper. Let's head now to The Nation.
On The Nation this morning, we'll have Buhari lawyers show video to quash Atiku's server claim, and you have the writers to that story. Chair explains why INEC dumped electronic transmission plan. Independent National Electoral Commission INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu has ended speculations about the procedures adopted in transmitting results of the last general elections. In a video played yesterday before the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, Yakubu explained that INEC jettisoned its plans to transmit elections results electronically owing to two other challenges besides the legal constraint. That story continues on page 6 if you want to see details of that. You have still on the front page of The Nation, wages adjustment talks deadlocked. That's on page 46 of The Nation newspaper. Northern Elders Group seek headers safety. That's on page 7 of The Nation newspaper. Patient commits suicide at hospital. On page 5 of The Nation newspaper. APC probe Makinde's 48 billion naira assets. That's on page 42. And Oshimbajo, we are moving GDP to 25%. That's quite interesting, and it's on page 11 if you really want to see details of that. Conjoined twins separated 50 hours after, on page 45 of The Nation newspaper. Still on that paper, Falana once against continued detention of El Zakzaki. That's on page 8 of The Nation newspaper. 14 bodies pulled out of collapsed building in Jos. That's on page 43 of The Nation newspaper. And Buhari to critiques of insecurity, you are not being patriotic. And man advises government on AFC FTA. That series on the front page of The Nation, and it continues on page 6 if you want to see details of it. Well, you also have pictures of rescuers at the scene of a collapsed family apartment in Jos yesterday. That's the picture on the front page of The Nation newspaper. I have another picture here, a car belonging to the family recovered from the robbers during the rescue operation. You have all of that on the front page of The Nation newspaper. Now, let's move on to the front page of the Punch newspaper.
Right, the Punch this morning is reporting with the story. Return to North now, Northern Elders, youths or the Fulani headsmen in South. With the riders, Southern governors, leaders, utterances putting Fulani headers' lives at risk, says the NEF. You can find that story on page 2 and get details of what this group is saying with regards to the Fulani headsmen clash. Other stories making the front page. Above the masthead, the story says, banditry, killings, you're politicizing isolated incidents, Buhari tells OBJ, Jonathan and Soyinka. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Kalu's claims on Buhari not owning Abuja House Force, says investigation. That story is on page 42 of the Punch newspaper. Kwara Assembly probes Saraki's ownership of government property. That story is on page 10 of the Punch newspaper. There's a picture here of International Community of Women Living with HIV West Africa during the 2019 World Population Day in Abuja yesterday. Quite interesting. Other stories here. IMF MD Lagarde resigns, gets successor by September. That story is on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Patients commit suicide at Uniben Teaching Hospital. Another suicide story, and that's quite sad. You can find details of that story on page 41 of the Punch newspaper. AFCON, Nigeria-Tunisia battle for third place today. If you're a sports fan, you can get to know the time the match will be played today, and we hope Nigeria wins this match and gets the third place. But you can find the story on page 43 of the front page of the Punch newspaper. YYF won Southwest governors monarchs against selling Yoruba land. That story is on page 41. And finally, EFCC hunts unqualified graduates undergoing NYSC scheme. That story is on page 3 of the Punch newspaper. I find it quite interesting, this headline story that says, return to North now, Northern leaders, elders, youths, other Fulani headsmen in South. But this particular rider is quite interesting. Southern governors, leaders, utterances, putting Fulani headers' lives at risk. And, it's quite funny because most Nigerians will feel that with the rate of reports about, the headsmen clash, sacking a whole village or even the kidnappings and stuff like that. No, none of these people have actually come out to say for once that the people of the South, their lives are at risk. But now, because of the pushback by people at the South saying that we don't want headsmen in our, the irony is quite glaring, and we leave it to the analysts to do justice to this. But the average Nigerian will feel, hey, what exactly is happening?
Going on?
Are more lives more equal than others? That's a question to be answered. But we need to call it a wrap on the program today. Time is really against us. We're so sorry. Please join us again tomorrow for another exciting moment on the segment of the Lagos studio. My name is Folashade Ogurinde.
And my name is Faith Agbetuya. We're handing you over to Bado now for the next segment of AM Cafe. Good morning.